Varys is one of the biggest mysteries in A Song of Ice and Fire. It might seem that has changed in the epilogue of A Dance with Dragons, while the show has chosen a different and less mysterious path for him altogether. In this video, I want to argue that what most people think about Varys is only partly true or even wrong. So, let's kick it off with that very epilogue. It takes Varys only the three very last pages of A Dance with Dragons to turn the whole situation in King's Landing around. We had been thinking that Kevan Lannister might actually be able to fix the situation in the capital and rein Cersei in. Varys shows up and destroys all hope for that with a crossbow bolt to the chest. He's making sure King's Landing doesn't emerge from the chaos Cersei's regency has left it in, but stays ripe for Aegon VI's conquest. There are two nagging questions, however. One, why does Varys reveal his plans to a dying Kevan Lannister? And, somewhat from the opposite perspective, why would Varys lie to a dying man? Number one is the cliché probably most often found in Bond villains. The villain reveals his plan to a good guy that he's about to kill or that is already about to die, but then the good guy is saved. Only there is no one to save Kevan. As much speculation as there is about people only seeming dead, I think we are safe to assume that Kevan really is dead and will stay dead. The problem, however, stays the same. What does Varys gain by telling Kevan? The simple answer here is nothing. Before we talk about our second question, why would Varys lie to a dying man? We first need to establish in how far Varys might be lying to Kevan. There are two general possibilities here. We know that Varys has been supporting Dany, if we believe his support for her has been sincere. So, he might actually support Dany, as in the show, and only claim to support Aegon. Or he might support both, which is also pretty far from what he tells Kevan, painting Aegon as an ideal king. The other possibility would be that Varys is lying about Aegon's identity. I have written an article for Tower of the Hand on that topic. You can follow this link to get to the article. The short version is that Varys might be a Blackfyre or a Blackfyre supporter, and that Aegon is a descendant of Bittersteel and Calar Blackfyre that Varys and Illyrio are passing off as Aegon VI to get him on the Iron Throne. If Aegon is indeed Aegon Blackfyre rather than Aegon VI Targaryen, why the hell should Varys not tell Kevan Aegon's true identity? The man is dying. That's the sole reason why Varys feels free to disclose his plans to him in the first place. Things simply don't add up, do they? So what is happening here? There is, again, a simple answer. Probably Varys is not lying at all. Aegon is not Fagon, but the real deal, Aegon VI MacRhaegar Targaryen. Varys simply seizes the opportunity to openly talk to Kevan because he respects him or because he wants to brag or whatever. Everything's fine and straightforward, isn't it? Except it's not. The idea here is that Varys got baby Aegon out of King's Landing during the sack and put a different baby in his place. Because the child's face was smashed in by Gregor Clegane, nobody was any the wiser. But that idea has at least one major hole in it. Varys cannot have known that Gregor would smash the child's face in, so nobody would be able to identify it. He would have to have known, however. Had Varys exchanged one baby for the other, and Gregor had not smashed its face in, but, tore its head off, Varys would have been screwed. He had no possible way of making sure to get away with such a swap. It would even have to have been a pretty outlandish bet. He could most likely not even have been sure that it would be Gregor who would kill the children, or that they would be killed at all. Varys telling strictly the truth not being an option, we are forced to go back to our second question. Why would Varys lie to a dying man? Well, sometimes we lie to people not because we want to hide the truth from them, but because we want to hide the truth from others, and they are simply there and become co-witnesses to the lie. I want to propose that this is what's happening here. So, whom is Varys actually lying to, if Kevan is only his stage prop, so to say? Our first clue is in Varys' own words. He says, "Sir Kevan, forgive me if you can. I bear you no ill will. This was not done from malice. It was for the realm." For the children. I would argue that there is one man whose ears these words have been handpicked for. This man is Brynden Rivers, Bloodraven. With the possible exception of Rhaegar Targaryen, nobody has made as much of a point of putting the realm before any other loyalties. And then there are those three last words. For the children. Why does Varys say that? What children? The children of the realm? Why the children and not the people? Putting children above adults is a pretty modern idea. Is he referring to his little birds who are about to make an end of Kevan with their daggers? No. This must be a code hidden in plain sight. Children here means children of the forest. Varys is telling Bloodraven that he is completely on his side. He supports Rhaegar's heir, the supposed savior, may he be called whatever he will. He wants the best for the realm, and he is, also like Bloodraven himself, on the side of the children of the forest. The controversial part of the message is that Aegon is alive. He wants Bloodraven to believe that Aegon is alive, and in the process of launching an attack on King's Landing. He's pitching Bloodraven an alternative to Dany, basically. But wait a moment, Bloodraven is not there. He's thousands of miles away. How can Varys be talking to Bloodraven? Well, we know that Bloodraven has his very own means of communication. He has 1,000 eyes and one. And most often these are the eyes of trees, or ravens. On the same page on which Kevan is hit by the crossbow bolt, he discovers the following. On the window seat a raven loitered, pale, huge, its feathers ruffled. It was the largest raven that Kevan Lannister had ever seen. Larger than any hunting hawk at Casterly Rock. Larger than the largest owl. Blowing snow danced around it, and the moon painted it silver. Not silver, white. The bird is white. The white ravens of the citadel did not carry messages, as their dark cousins did. When they went forth from Old Town, it was for one purpose only. To herald a change of seasons. Winter, Sir Kevan said. The word made a white mist in the air. He turned away from the window. It's actually the next sentence in which the bolt hits Kevan's chest. Ravens are Bloodraven's animals, and this one is white, and it's a symbol of the coming winter. Bloodraven's sigil shows a white dragon. White is his color, because he has the milky white skin of an albino. And he is all about the coming winter and the others that come with it. And this is the biggest of ravens, as Bloodraven is the biggest of ravens, or crows, in more than one sense. He's probably the most important worshipper of the old gods, and he used to be Lord Commander, leader of all crows. Although this raven was sent by the Maces of the Citadel, not by Bloodraven, this is Bloodraven's creature, most likely unbeknownst to the man who sent it. Let's sum up what's happening here. Varys enters the room and most likely sees Pycelle with the raven heralding winter. He has already planned to kill Pycelle and Kevan Lannister, but maybe not to kill them then and there. We don't know. He either decides to kill Pycelle spontaneously, or kills him because he had already planned to. He is probably preparing his speech in his head while he waits for Kevan. From Pycelle, he knows that Kevan is coming. Finally, as Kevan enters, he gives his little speech and kills him too. What kind of game is Varys playing then? Varys is, as has been pointed out, a Blackfyre supporter, maybe even a Blackfyre himself. That's the reason why he supports Aegon, but that's only half of the story. Varys is not only linked to Bittersteel and the Blackfyre cause, but also to Bloodraven. After all, he is Bloodraven's indirect successor as Master of Whisperers, and he has been working with Dany, whose mentor, or mentrix if you will, is Quaithe, who is most likely none other than Shiera Seastar, Bloodraven's former lover. It's reasonable to assume that Quaithe and Bloodraven are in league in support of Dany. Varys' role in this, then, is that of a double agent. He seems to have been working for Dany's cause, either in cooperation with Bloodraven and Quaithe, or at least having knowledge of Bloodraven's existence and powers, while his ultimate goal has been to fool them both by presenting them with a Blackfyre in the guise of a Targaryen who has a better, swifter plan and a better claim to the Iron Throne than Dany. Not only does this answer our two questions satisfactorily, but it also makes sense of Varys helping Dany, while we would usually assume that a Blackfyre supporter would rather hinder her than help her. Varys has been helping Dany to keep Bloodraven and possibly others under the impression that he's a staunch Targaryen loyalist, while he's actually quite the opposite. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like, share, and visit the shit out of our blog.